Welcome to Daily Variety, your daily dose of news and analysis for entertainment industry insiders. It's Thursday, September 11th, 2025. I'm your host, Cynthia Littleton. I am co-editor-in-chief of Variety, alongside Ramin Satuda. I'm in LA, he's in New York, and Variety has reporters around the world covering the business of entertainment. In today's episode, we'll hear from Chris Rice and Graham Taylor. Those two are co-CEOs of Fifth Season, the production banner behind the Apple TV Plus drama Severance, which lapped the field this year with Emmy nominations. And we'll hear from Variety television editor Michael Schneider on why he thinks the Television Academy should stop thinking about the wheel and start thinking about a roadblock when it comes to the Emmys. Mike will explain. Before we get to that, here are a few headlines just in this morning that you need to know. France's Canal Plus is really going for it on its expansion plans. The company has hired Paul Gilbert to serve as Senior VP of English Language Series based in London. He's the former commissioning editor of Sky Studios. Netflix has ordered an animated comedy from Ricky Gervais. Alley Cats is described as a slacker sitcom that follows the trials and tribulations of a group of feral British cats from all walks of society. It's got a 6-episode order. Harborview Equity Partners has led a $30 million investment in Lion Forge Entertainment. Lion Forge is the production banner behind the HBO Max animated series Ayanu, and it specializes in kids and family entertainment. All of these stories and so much more can be found on Variety.com right now. Now we turn to conversations with industry leaders and Variety journalists about news and trends in show business. Today our guests are Graham Taylor and Chris Rice, the co-CEOs of Fifth Season. We discuss what all those Emmy nominations mean to them as a business and what's next for the busy banner. Graham Taylor and Chris Rice, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We're talking via video call, but of course you all are just across the courtyard from the Variety building. We do share a common building here in West LA, so hey neighbors, very belated congratulations on that boatload of Emmy nominations that you got this year for Severance. 27 leading the pack. What was that like?
I think probably surreal, maybe felt like a moment in Severance. Obviously we'd hoped for some love, but hadn't imagined what happened. 27 is an unimaginable number for us, I think. So we were extremely pleased and extremely grateful and happy for all the incredible people who make the show. It's just an incredible assemblage of craftsmen and women, kind of mind-blowing dream team of creatives that together have managed to weave a special and unique voice.
Graham?
In a world where I think certainly Chris and I and our colleagues, we long for, strive for, and pursue original storytelling, it's nice to see that embraced and supported by critics and fans. And certainly my status on my 12-year-old daughter's soccer team, I've definitely gotten up one notch. They make me carry the tent a lot less.
But let me ask you from a hard-nosed business perspective, at the nomination stage, does that outpouring of nomination change anything for Severance as a business? Does it allow you to license it for more money in other territories?
It's unquestionably concrete for us as a business, because I think Fifth Season from the day one has been trying to build a place as the home for the best creatives to come with truly original stories and make films and TV shows that feel authored and original and unique. And to have such success with one of them obviously helps drive people to be in business with us and helps, create a place that hopefully the best people want to come and work. And that for us is everything.
Quite a calling card. Let me ask a very specific question. Severance as a business property for Fifth Season. Obviously, it's a very expensive show and Apple pays the license fee. Are you able to license that in other markets? Is Severance able to become a really strong ongoing business for Fifth Season versus a more traditional streaming deal where they pay you up front and they have the license for a very long time?
I think the interesting thing to look at, right? I think even on any of these shows where we're licensing that first streaming window is looking at what the value of our retained rights, what's going to be the value of linear television and EST and DVD and merch and all the things that we do hold back from the streamers. And sometimes we'll work to exploit those rights with them, or it'll be interesting to see as the world opens up, particularly linear in every territory around the world, what is the appetite and the business around those rights. I think it's going to be a fascinating thing to watch.
After season 2, I would imagine you'd have a merchandise opportunity with some very fancy marching band uniforms.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Let me ask you about the business around series. In the old days, everybody was shooting for ER and Law and Order, be on the air as long as you can to amass as many seasons and episodes. For a show like Severance, if it goes 4 seasons, 5 seasons, even 6 seasons, can that be a very healthy business for you over the long term?
I think both can be true, right? Which is the 4, 5, 6 seasons of a streaming show is very valuable and creates a lot of economics, but that is kind of apples to oranges to the economics of the Seinfeld or Friends or shows like that. They're that historical opportunity for syndication.
Not that there's not upsides when something's really successful. Again, when one's a bigger studio, one can retain more rights, monetize those rights through our own distribution businesses. There are obviously other models out there.
Having come out of independent film for 150 years, that still is a business of anomalies of a half dozen that actually really kind of break through. One of the things I do love about this new era of, let's call it streaming television, is I love the call it 6 to 10 hour format of storytelling. Creatively,
Right.
So longer it's really interesting to see what these filmmakers can create and achieve in that sort of band of keeping things compelling. And by the way, it may only have 2 seasons of a life that's interesting to tell creatively, or 3 or 4 or 5. To me, that's part of the excitement of how do you break those stories and let them live and breathe.
The company started out as Endeavor Content, became 5th season a couple of years ago. What has been the best advantage to be able to really build this company from scratch? What have you been able to do in the design of the company that is an advantage over an established studio?
For me personally, having had experience on the other side, is I always found it frustrating when dealing with studios where it felt like they were highly siloed. Movie people didn't talk to TV people, and it very much felt like a lot of independent contractors. So I think it was really important to us that it's a highly collaborative, highly entrepreneurial environment where people are empowered. You got to find great people and you've really got to trust them and empower them.
Both Graham and I started our careers as producers, then went to work inside a talent agency, not as agents necessarily, but as business builders and support for talent building their projects and financing them and distributing them. And I think during that phase, we saw how a good experience for talent, for lawyers, managers, agents, kind of everyone in that ecosystem, what a good experience was and what a bad experience was. And that was always central to how we built Endeavor Content. And then 5th season was trying to be a place that would give a good experience to all the creative participants. And that became kind of central as a philosophy to our company. I think that helped us to maybe be a bit more nimble and do deals in ways that were just slightly different from traditional.
Chris and Graham, thank you so much for taking some time out. I know this is a busy week for you. You have the high-class problem of a lot of events to attend. Let me ask you, TV or film, anything coming up for 5th season that you'd like to point out?
We have Chief of War running right now on Apple. Another episode drops later this week.
Which Variety's Aramide Tinubu gave a rave review to.
It is a fantastic show. I think, again, speaks to kind of originality. You've not seen anything like this before. We've got Savant coming out on Apple TV Plus with
Jessica Chastain.
We have The Incredible East of Eden next year on Netflix, which we're really excited about. His and Hers also on Netflix. So we've got a great raft of TV shows being made, and we've got a fantastic group of movies
in post, including Jan Kamasa's anniversary coming out through Lionsgate, which is spectacular. So we have a lot coming down the pike.
Chris and Graham, thank you so much for your time. I will see you in the Emmy swirl.
Thanks, Cynthia. Cheers.
And now here's Michael Schneider. He's got a big idea for how the Emmy Awards should negotiate their next TV rights deal. I think it's an idea whose time has come. Hello, Michael Schneider. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Happy Emmys.
This is your busy season. You've been on several times this week.
Indeed.
I wanted to talk to you about your award circuit Emmy column that you wrote last week. You made a forceful argument for a significant change in the way the annual Emmy Awards telecast is carried to the masses every year. Tell us why you think it's time that the Emmy really changes up their game in the way that they license the awards telecast itself to networks.
Sure. So as a quick primer for folks, right now, and this is the way it's been since 1995, the Emmys actually are on a rotating wheel in that every year a different network runs the Emmys. So it's a cycle of 4 networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, and they take turns running it. That way it's fair. That way everyone has a piece of the Emmys. But that was fine back in the pre-streaming era, where first off, people were pretty much just watching broadcast TV. So there was a good chance that they would run into the Emmys and watch it. But in this era, where there are so many different streamers, so many different ways to watch TV, there's just no reason to tune into a single network carrying the Emmys, unless you're a super fan of award shows. So my idea was the wheel had its day, but with the wheel deal expiring next year, NBC has the Emmys next year, CBS has it this year. After that, the deal is up. And the TV Academy actually starting next week after this year's ceremony can start shopping around a new deal. So rather than renewing this wheel deal the way it is now, or just finding an exclusive partner, which never really works because then you're relegating the Emmys to just one home and none of the other outlets have any skin in the game and no reason to support the Emmys. Why not give everyone the Emmys and follow a model that has actually been done pretty effectively with charity events through the years? Usually when there's another big disaster, there's a charity event that comes after, and every network, every streamer will then run that charity event. It's called a roadblock. Why don't we do that with the most important broadcast of the television year, which is
Celebrating
the Emmys?
itself. Roadblocks, especially in Southern California, are never welcome. But in this case, an airwaves roadblock for a couple hours a night, one night a year. Your argument just made a lot of sense to me as I was proofing it. But really, as you think about it, because everybody is invested in getting people excited about the medium. In the past, the largest network, the broadcast networks, the big 4 that carry it, those networks, if you've been paying attention, have not been front and center in the Emmy race, which is another reason why Kathy Bates snagging that Emmy nomination for her work in Matlock is a big deal for CBS. Did you workshop that at all in terms of talking to people? Because again, as you say, roadblocks are well known. The Stand Up to Cancer telethon has recently been one of those things where, virtually everybody can get behind and donate an hour of time to this most worthy cause. And it really makes a difference. If you're a viewer and you're flipping around and you see the same thing on one channel, you're going to pay attention to that because that's unusual.
And so, yes, I actually did run this by Maury McIntyre, who's the CEO of the TV Academy, and he said he was game. He liked the idea. So I hope that maybe I've sprinkled some ideas for the TV Academy as they sit back down with their network partners and start hashing out whatever this new contract's going to look like.
Before I let you go, I won't ask you for predictions, but any thoughts on things that you think people should watch on Sunday night as we get ready for the big show?
I think the big question is going to be The Pitt versus Severance. We saw some interesting signs over the Creative Arts weekend. Severance got 6 awards. The Pitt got 2, but The Pitt got one of the most important ones, which was casting for drama. And as we know, that acting community is huge, one of the largest voting bodies at the TV Academy. So that could be a sign that we may be heading towards a Pitt victory, but who knows?
Yeah, there's great stories either way. But Michael, thank you. It's going to be a busy weekend. Very curious to see what happens on the other side of it.
Here we go.
As we close out today's episode, I want to take a moment to remember that this is September 11th. The passage of time has eased the pain of that day for many of us, but an event like the shocking murder on Wednesday of conservative activist Charlie Kirk brings it all back. 9/11 was an act of stunning political violence. We don't know yet all the circumstances around the killing of Kirk, but we do know that the political rhetoric in this country has been ratcheted to the bursting point. As was the case with 9/11, as a nation, we need to look inward and ask ourselves how we got here. A 31-year-old man died senselessly and tragically yesterday. 24 years ago today, nearly 3,000 people died senselessly and tragically by extremists who believed America was evil. Let's never forget how hate, stoked by ideology, changed our lives forever. We'll close with a clip from the 2024 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony in Lower Manhattan with the reading of the names of all of those who died when the World Trade Center towers fell.
Gordon M. Amoth Jr.,
Edmiro Abad,
Marie Rosabad,
Andrew Anthony Abate,
Vincent Paul Abate,
Lawrence Christopher Abel,
Alana Abraham,
William F. Abrahamson,
Richard Anthony Acito,
Heinrich Bernard Ackerman.
Thanks for listening. This episode was written and reported by me, Cynthia Littleton, with contributions from Michael Schneider. It was edited by Aaron Greenwald. Sticks, Nicks, Hick, Picks. Please leave us a review at the podcast platform of your choice, and please tune in on Monday for another episode of Daily Variety.